seen over the last few transfer windows a real investment in youth. Is that still a central part of our plans going forward?
100%. That has to be Arsenal. So we have to go to the market and sign exciting player with the right age, right attitude, right mentality. And we want to see a club like Arsenal with young squads, exciting squads, with big future. Because as I said in the last summer, the idea is to have a young squad is to give them an opportunity to play together for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons together. So, and then I think we are still still have a lot to do, but we are really excited to start the season with the players what we target and the players what we want to sign as well.
Football fans, Gooners, welcome to another edition of the Positively Uncensored Arsenal podcast. And we had the rare pleasure, and I'm really feeling proud of myself. I had that clip of our technical director, Edu, promising us more transfers. And he is saying we're going to get more young players, George. He already has Marquinhos, and he already has Fabio Vieira. And we are going to get, I suppose, Gabriel Jesus and Rafinha and Tielemans and the whole works. George, you must be impressed by Edu Gaspar, aren't you? Got you there, didn't I?
Well, yeah. In a way I am. And in a way I'm not. I mean, when you look at it, you think, look at Jesus. I mean, how's he done that? He's gone to Manchester City and persuaded them to sell a player to us that they don't have part of their plans, that has 1 year left in his contract, and they're going to accept only £45 million for him. And then he's gone to Jesus and said, we'll make you our leading wage earner and we'll give you only £220,000 a week. Now, how's he pulled this off? I mean, wow, it's amazing. I mean, I would say there's probably not 2 billion other people in the world that could have done that deal on those terms. I mean, fucking hell. Jesus Christ, let's just hold our horses a minute. Having said that, I'm quite happy with the deal. I don't mind that we've paid £45 million for him, and I don't even care that we're giving him £220,000 a week of Stan Kroenke's best money. It's not my money. It's not even Arsenal's money. It's Stan Kroenke's money. Edu can give it to who he wants. But let's not pretend he's fucking some sort of genius that he's pulled off this deal. It would have been difficult to not do this deal on those terms. I mean, people are on about it like he's chosen us instead of Tottenham. Well,
Yeah.
No, has he? How do we know what Tottenham bid? I bet they didn't bid £45 million to City to even speak to them, to Jesus. And they certainly weren't going to pay him £220,000 a week to be a backup to Harry Kane or Son. So, Chelsea, were they really interested in him?
I don't
know. Maybe they were, but I wouldn't have thought so. But that doesn't mean he's not a good buy for us. I think he is. But let's just cool our jets with this over-the-top reaction that somehow is working miracles when it's a bog standard. I mean, it's like the miracle that he pulled off when he paid parties £45 million release clause and nobody else made an offer for him at all. And people were hailing that as some sort of bloody miracle deal as well. It's just getting beyond the joke now. I mean, there's people worshipping at the altar of Edu or Arteta or joint altars. And what the fuck, man? Seriously.
You know, George, you hit on something there because he's been here 3 years and he has been bringing in a lot of players, and he's also sent a
Yeah,
lot.
he brought in William, and he brought in Mari, and he brought in Cedric, and he brought in Runerson. You know, oh, what
Yeah,
a fucking guy he is. Oh,
and
we're not,
Ryan.
oh no, I'm sorry. We've not to mention them now. That's part of the old established players coming in on big wages that we've moved away from now. So we must not mention that. It's like fucking Faulty Towers. Don't mention the war. You know, you've not to mention what's gone before. You've only to mention what we think's a good deal now. And I just want people to wait. If we sign Jesus, let's give him 12 months and see whether it's a good deal or not. It might be a fantastic deal. I think he's all the attributes Mikel Arteta will want in his team for a striker. I do. I believe he's fast, he's tenacious, he closes down, he puts in a lot of effort, he's good on the ball, he's good in front of goal. He's not prolific, but he's good in front of goal. I mean, for a striker, he's creative as well. He's a good player. There's no question in my mind. He's a good player and a good buy. But let's not pretend that we've pulled off some sort of coup here and nobody else could have got him. If Chelsea or Spurs or Manchester United or Liverpool, Champions League teams, had gone along with 45 million and £220,000 a week, he would be playing there rather than here.
But you know, George, nobody wants to critique. I do a serious critique of Gabriel Jesus. I think he's a typical. He is a Arteta-like player, but he's
Good player.
yeah. But as Tim Vickery said on a program with some interviewer, Tim Vickery is a South American.
I know who he is.
Right?
I know him well.
Yeah, he used to be on BBC or Sky. I don't remember.
He's
Years.
on Talk Sport now.
Yes, he's on Talk Sports now. Okay, he's back home.
He went for a while.
Oh, really? But he was saying Tite or Tite or whatever they call him, the Brazilian manager, spoke to him and said, "We want to like our manager," and he sheepishly said, I prefer to play winger." I thought I misspoke there. The guy who scored 8 goals for City last year, before them were in one game. I saw that game myself. Aren't we getting a bit of a Lacazette there?
No, I don't think so. I think, to be fair, I watched most Manchester City games last season, and I thought he played well. I thought he played well almost every time. In a good team, which is easier to look good. But he very, very rarely played as a central striker.
Correct.
So to judge him, his numbers against what he's going to be with us, which is probably our number 9, I think that's very unfair. And it's true he didn't score a lot of goals, but if you look at his goals per minute since he joined Manchester City, it's phenomenal, really. It is quite astounding.
Yeah, you know that we have to be balanced because he came a lot off the bench. I mean, you know, because Pep only usually plays with one striker. And he, you know, when they were like down the 70 minutes, you saw him coming off the bench, and you were like, "Jesus, look at the quality coming off the bench." I don't know if you recall that.
I do, but I also recall that when Pep Guardiola first went, he was playing him in preference to Aguero.
Right.
Now, there was reasons for that. Clearly, Aguero was a better player than Jesus. I'm not pretending that Jesus is on the level of Aguero. However, his total contribution to the team at that time was greater than Aguero's, and that's why he was playing. Pep Guardiola basically said to Aguero, "Up your game, play my way, or you're out the team." And to be fair, Aguero did. But we're buying a guy who kept Aguero out, and Aguero is world class by any definition.
Would
So
you say out, George? I'm interrupting you. Would you say out? I mean, it was only for half a season, and then he.
yes, it was.
Mhm.
And of course. And he got replaced because Aguero is a better player. When he upped his game to do what Jesus does naturally, he got his place back because he's a better fucking player. There's no question in that. My point is, he was good enough to push Aguero out when Aguero wouldn't do all of the things that Guardiola requires. And what Guardiola requires is also what Mikel Arteta requires. So we know he does all the things required to suit Mikel Arteta's way of thinking.
Well,
We
but
know that.
George, but the concern I have is that don't expect a prolific striker, George. I think that's why some of the other teams probably bailed on him. Don't expect a prolific striker, in relation, because that was a criticism of Lacazette, that he wasn't prolific enough, went several games without scoring and so on and so forth. Your thoughts on that?
No, I don't think we're going to get a prolific striker. But I don't think there's a striker in the world who would be prolific in our system. I mean, look at Manchester City themselves. Have they got a prolific striker?
Well, they're bringing.
Even when Aguero was there, he
Yeah.
was under Pep Guardiola. He wasn't getting 25, 30 goals a season.
Except for probably 1 year, and he was in the running for the golden boot. But I'm not a.
My point is, he was one of the best players in the world. He was one of the best strikers in the world.
Yes.
And he wasn't getting 25, 30 goals a season because the system doesn't allow that from a striker, from a central striker. And it won't allow that in ours either. So when the system doesn't allow it, you can't turn around and point the finger and say, oh, he's only scored 15 goals. We wanted 25. When you're never going to get 25 from anybody. Anyway, City will be lucky to get 25 goals a season from Haaland. And they'll adapt the game to suit him, by the way.
Yeah, but the thing is that they want the goals at the key moments. They want to go, you want to get up, you want to get ahead early in the game, you're falling behind, and they're relying on their striker to convert those chances.
Manchester City did they?
No, I'm not saying that's how they are. They want
Liverpool didn't.
Yeah.
Firmino, how many goals did he get? Did he get 25, 30 goals a season? No.
I'm making a slightly. Sorry, George. I'm making a slightly different point. I'm saying Haaland for City is there to score the goals at a decisive moment. That's just, that's an observation I've made. They're not goal hangers, but they're creating the chances, and you can see Pep gets very annoyed when they create gilted chances and it's not finished. And that's my observation.
Sure, but they didn't have a number 9 playing there.
Right.
Did they?
Right.
And they've gone out and bought probably the best number 9 in the world at the moment.
Right. But that brings us to our problem. We're having a number 9 who is maybe better, a good player in Arteta's system, but he is not prolific. I know I'm repeating myself.
No, that's right. But what I'm saying is you can't expect him to be, and you can't know that and then turn around and level criticism at him for not doing it, because he won't be in the box all the time. He won't be between the sticks. He won't be fucking Ian Wright or Michael Owen, or Gary Lineker. Those days have gone. He's going to bring more to the team than that. And I'll tell you what, if Haaland doesn't bring more to the team than just scoring goals, he'll find himself out the team at Manchester City. He'll have to get with the script. Good and all as he is. And all right, they might make adjustments. They might play a little bit more directly. They might feed a bit balls into the box quicker. They might push the balls behind for him to run onto more often. But he won't be goal hanging. Yes.
Well, those days are, as you say, gone. George, Edu is promising us more signings. Next, I don't know. Is this Rafinha thing? A kind of. I can't. I don't know what to make of it. Let's be honest. Is he coming in to compete with Saka? And is he really coming in, or are we not just witnessing a bidding war?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if we're even, if you're going on, if they're valuing him at 60 million and
60
we're offering
million quid, yeah.
and we're offering 25 million, we're not really in a bidding war, are we? We're not really serious about it. So I don't know. Obviously, I don't know how much we bid, how much we will bid. Are we really serious? Will he choose us in preference to somewhere else? I think he'd probably rather go to Barcelona. Whether they actually come up with the money or not now, we'll have to wait and see. But I think we should worry about Raphinha when it's becoming obvious that he's going to buy. There's no point speculating about a player that, in all likelihood, we won't buy, in my opinion.
And, by the way, George, I mean, it's a player you and I think like, but he looks surplus to our requirements. I mean, I don't know. He at Leeds, he essentially played on the right. They tried to play him on the left, and it didn't work out. Because I saw him a couple of times, and it was on the right side. He was formidable. He gave them, I just don't. I don't know. I don't see it. But
I might be sacrilegious here and say he's better than Saka.
He's better.
I think he is. Yeah. I think Saka might end up better than him, but at this moment in time, I'd say he's better than Saka. And Saka can play on the left. He's played some really good games playing on the left. If we moved him to the left, don't forget when we were lauding him, he was playing as a wing back on the left.
Yes.
And he was causing havoc, and that was 2.5 years ago. He's improved considerably since then. So being a left winger, it's like all of a sudden you can't play a left-footed player on the left wing, or you can't play a right-footed player on the right wing. What the fuck? Of course you can, man. You could play Raphinha on one side and Saka on the other, or you could switch them over. But I'd be more worried if I was Emile Smith-Rowe than I would if I was Saka.
No, I was about to say, George, with all of this so-called quote-unquote commitment to youth that Edu spoke about, what about Martinelli on the other side? I mean, it's like he's chopped liver now. Nobody talks about him. Where would he play this?
And don't forget, people were saying, oh, well, Smith-Rowe and Odegaard can alternate, but now it'll be Odegaard and Fabio. So Smith-Rowe's out of that. So where's he going to play? Does it matter? Does anybody care? Are we really committed to developing players? After he had COVID this year, he hardly played, did he? And he was our top scorer at one point. So does Mikel Arteta still fancy him? We'll have to wait and see on that as well, because it's not cast in stone, is it? It's not in stone that Saka's going to sign the contract, and if he doesn't, we'll sell him. So
yes,
people make assumptions that we're building this team, bringing in these top players, and we're going to get rid of the dross at the bottom. But what if we're bringing in these players and we get rid of the good players at the top as well to pay for them? We don't know yet. We're still guessing.
Well, but Edu spoke about he's trying to keep them for 6 years. That's a quote at the end of the clip. Go back and rewind it, guys. And I fear for that, because
You don't think we can?
No, because the better they get. I mean, we see the Hawks circling, George, and we're not paying them. We're not paying them top wages. And our fans are like, oh, there's certain, the PR agents are saying, oh, we save so much money on wages, but we're paying these guys less than we used to pay, to top players. And you think that they'll stick around when they become top players?
if they become top players.
Right.
Let's not assume that they're going to be top players, because I said this earlier on in the window, that there's going to be some upset fans when they find out that the players we're bringing in are going to be taking the place of the ones that they thought were going to be world class last year. There's going to be some disappointments. So squad depth's going to be better if we keep all the best players and add new players. That's a given. But we don't know whether we're going to do that or not. What if we don't? What if we start selling players that we thought were going to be integral to the team for the next 5, 6, 7 years, like Edu said, and all of a sudden they start leaving? What will we do then? Does it matter? Does anybody care? If people get, a Hale End product is worth more, is it? Doesn't look like it, does it? Because we're bringing in people and chucking them out.
Well, on that note, George, I mean, Edu spoke about how many young players he's brought in, but he never mentioned, and in that powder puff interview on the .com, of course, no tough questions were really asked. But in his first year, 2021, he's been there from 1920, but the first set of transfer was done himself. They were already on in the works. But he sold off players like sent them off. Reece Nelson. When he came in, he sent Saliba out on loan and never brought him back. He sold Willock. Lots of people through the academy are no longer with the club, or they're on loan. The midfielder, what's his name? That we speak about all the time. I'm forgetting his name right now. He's no longer with us. He's on loan. So I don't know. I mean, he has a habit of, towards the end of the window, selling or loaning most of the academy players that are on the books. Your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, but that in itself isn't particularly worrying, because which academy player have we sold that's gone on and we've thought, I wish we hadn't sold him? I can't think of any.
Well, I was trying to remember Ainsley Maitland-Niles. But, these are all the people who've come through. Hector came through, was in our academy.
Well, we bought him when he was 16 when he came in.
Yes, but, he spent a couple of years in the academy.
Yeah, sort of, I suppose. But,
But my point is, George, I mean, you look back, he's made a lot of signings, but he's loaned out a lot of players. Guendouzi, Torreira, the whole 9 yards. That is inevitable, isn't it?
I don't think we can blame him for Guendouzi.
No, I don't.
We know exactly which altar to lay the blame out there.
Yes.
But I don't know. I don't see it as much of a problem myself, because I really can't think that there's anybody that we've let go, apart from Guendouzi, that is really regrettable. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, he'd have been useful last season. But
didn't tear up trees on his
no,
his
he's not really a left back, is he? He's probably not going to be quite Arsenal level for midfield. So I don't know. I don't think we have to look at things to blame Edu for. There's enough. I think he's got enough credit recently. Even if they got it wrong the first year, last season was an improvement with the plan, because the plan's a good plan if it works. It's the only plan that can work. We can't outspend City and Liverpool and United and Chelsea. We can't go and buy a ready-made team that can compete with them. The only option is to hopefully build a team from a mixture of bringing players through and bringing players at a good level, like Tielemans and Rafinha and Jesus in, to move us up the pecking order. I'm honestly quite bullish at the moment.
I noticed that.
I think if we get Raphinha and Tielemans, we have a shot at top four, a genuine shot at top four.
This is one of the questions that the last one I want to shoot up you, and I usually say this is the last question, but the last player that is in my head, is it Tielemans thing for real? Do you think that is?
I think it could be, yeah. I think we won't have to go with big money to Leicester. We'll probably get him for about 25 million. The thing is, he's a right-footed midfield player.
Mm-hmm.
And people keep saying he's coming in for Xhaka. I think if I was Thomas Partey, I'd be the one who was worrying about the place, not Granit Xhaka. I can't see that. I can't see it because Xhaka's clearly the best player of the three of them. Well, I say that, but other people will be up in arms and say that's absolute rubbish. But for me, you've got to worry about that as well, because are we really going to bring in players that at top level that won't be playing week in, week out? And I don't know. We'll have to. We're not really going to know till the end of the season. I think what we've got to till the end of the window. I think what we've got to do is just analyse who we're actually getting and look at that at the time, and not speculate as to who we're going to bring in and who we're going to sell, because that really is an unknown. I'll be surprised if at the end of the transfer window it looks anything like what we're predicting it could be now. You know, people are saying, "Oh, we bring in Raphinha, we bring in Tielemans, we bring in Jesus, we bring in who was the other one we mentioned?"
You beat me there. Those are the names that have been floating around. Lisandro Martinez. Oh yeah. He's high up in the speculation.
We bring Saliba back, and what a good squad that looks like. And you have to go, wow, actually, yeah, it does look like a good squad. But we don't know who's going out. Yeah, what if Xhaka, Xhaka, and Martinelli go out? Does it look as good then? We don't know.
Well, George, let us leave it at that, because it's entirely speculation.